Welcome in Indonesia. I planned to film this video back home before we left. I don't know what I was thinking. I was packing until really late that night and we woke up early in the morning and then had a long travel day and then another long travel day. So we're just gonna film this from Indonesia. Obviously a lot has been unpacked. The light is a little wonky, but we're just gonna make do. It's just to give you a general idea of what we packed as a family of 3 with a 4-month-old going on a 4-week road trip kind of thing throughout Indonesia. So we are currently in Lovina and we will be going to the east of Bali first and then we're moving west towards Java and then we'll stay there for a little bit before we go back. So actually a long bit. It was hard to pack everything and that was also partly because we were limited in what we were allowed to bring. So we had 3 planes that brought us here and the first 2 were from one airline and then the third one was another airline, and that airline had stricter rules on luggage as in weight limits. And then another factor was my mum. So we have these specific suitcases that my mum wanted us to use. Everyone in the family uses them for this trip. I don't really enjoy using them, but that's what we got dealt. Every couple has one and we got to have another one because we all have all this baby stuff. Hand luggage wise, we had 2 hand luggages, 1 backpack and 1 smaller suitcase because I am baby wearing Michaela all the time at the airport and so it's easier to roll stuff around. Even though I ended up not rolling it around because I have some hand issues, so I can't really hold a lot of stuff in my hands, which is unfortunate, but that's even more reason that I'm happy that I have a rolling suitcase. Everything is sprinkled throughout this room. I don't know how I'm gonna start, but I'm thinking I'm starting in that corner and then moving my way towards that corner. Hand luggage had a weight limit as well. They never measure it, so that's good because we were way overweight on one. And then the checked luggage had a weight limit of 20 kilograms. That was because of the 3rd flight that we won't be taking back. So now we can stuff them to 23 kilograms. So we have some space to buy stuff, which is actually cool. Over here, we have sunscreen, which is, I'm just really going in a random direction. Sunscreen for us. And then we also have lip balm sunscreen. That's also for us. I also have a wool detergent, and that is because we have a few items that are wool. For example, Michaela was wearing this on the plane, wool, because it's temperature regulating. I got 2 of them secondhand. I'm hoping she'll be able to fit in it still when we go back, but I kind of doubt it. And then I had fleece outfits to go over this in case she was cold on the plane. Unfortunately, she doesn't fit those anymore. So she was cold at one point and I put the fleece pajamas on and only her feet fit. I couldn't get it zipped because I couldn't fit her arms in. She's growing a little quicker than I had anticipated, but that's okay. So anyway, we have wool and so wool detergent. Everything is in packing cubes. I like stuff to be organized so that when we're out and about, it's really easy to just find the right packing cube and find your stuff in there. So this is Michaela's clothing packing cube. For her, I have quite a few outfits because she goes through them quite quickly, and also it's really easy to pack because it's so small. So I have a couple onesies, a couple play suits, a couple shorts, a couple shirts, and then 1 dress because I made that dress, and it's the same fabric that I made shorts of for myself and then also a top for my sister, so we can all match. So yeah, that's kind of the contents of this. She has already worn a few outfits, so it's not quite as stuffed as it used to be. And then it also has 2 of these sun hats to protect her head from the sun. 1 is wet, so this video is going to turn out great. This is a little baggie with all my cables, so charging cables and such. Then we had 2 packing cubes for shoes. So we wore our biggest shoes and then Conrad had a pair of slippers and a pair of barefoot shoes that he put in the packing cube, and I had a pair of slippers and a pair of Birkenstocks, which are technically also slippers. This is our little emergency bag. I'm hoping I won't have to open this whilst on this trip. It contains a couple of things, just some medicine, some plasters, paracetamol for Michaela, which we specifically bought for this trip because we actually didn't have it at home. We have some mosquito stuff for when they've already done their thing, tablets for if your throat hurts, and then tweezers. Then we have Michaela's products. So this is a little bit of everything. We bought this just one day before we went on a trip because I realized Michaela didn't have one toiletry bag. So her thermometer, hairbrush that we hardly ever use because her hair goes everywhere anyway, a couple of sunscreens, a washcloth just because it's easier to clean all those little crevices. Then we have her nail file, which is gigantic, but I really like using it. We have body lotion, we have washing gel for her, and then we have shampoo. Then This is my packing cube. This is all my basics. This is kind of what I'm wearing constantly, but again, we've been on the road for a couple days already, so not everything is in here. We have my shorts, which there's only one pair of shorts in here now, because one is wet, one is dirty, and one I'm wearing. We have a couple of bicycle shorts to put under a skirt or a dress, and then we have my tops, a packing cube with my underwear, and then a packing cube for my other clothes that aren't like the basic ones. So we've got a couple skirts, a dress, something fancy, and a small like jacket, but it's not really a jacket, it's just to cover my shoulders. Then we've got a couple of packing cubes for Conrad, though he has one more, but I don't know where it is. This contains all his shirts. He wears black shirts this entire trip. Then his shorts are sprinkled throughout the suitcase because he only brought 4 and he's wearing them almost constantly. Also, I only have so many packing cubes. One with just his socks. Conrad loves coffee and he knew that this is a good country for coffee. So in between all the clothes, we have a coffee grinder, which makes little sense, but Conrad will be happy. I have a couple of disposable diapers, not too many, but we have a couple, and wipes, disposable wipes, a couple. Then we have a packing cube with swim stuff. It had one bikini for me, one pair of swim shorts for Conrad. Then we have a little towel thingy for Michaela, swim top for Conrad when he goes surfing and stuff, 2 reusable swim diapers for Michaela, and also a UV protection top, which is cute. It has animals on it. And then we have our water shoes because, for example, tomorrow we're going to a waterfall, so water shoes can be quite useful. And then on top of this, I didn't want to stuff it in there. On top of this, I put a little towel thingy that I made for myself. It's kind of like a jacket, but it's made from 3 towels. And that way I can just really easily put it on and then hold Michaela or do whatever with her. I specifically made it for this trip and I have never been so happy that I made it because I definitely did use it today. We have another packing cube of Conrad's, which contains his underwear, handkerchiefs, and his lenses. My lenses were sprinkled in the suitcase as well. In the swim thingy, we also had goggles. I also brought a little tote bag to carry stuff around whilst we were here. We also used it today, so it's a little gross. Then we also brought that tent that is Michaela's sleeping place. I brought laundry detergents. You'll see why in a second, but if you know me well, you probably already know why I brought it. Hairbrush, really important too. We brought this. It's a mosquito net that we can pull over anything, and we thought we could pull it over the tent if there are mosquitoes. The tent has a zipper and so it zips completely shut, so you shouldn't have mosquitoes in there. However, that requires you to zip it shut. That makes noise. If baby sleeps, no noise. Otherwise, no more sleeping baby. I had a bit of space, so I brought this thing as well. It folds out and then it can hold all the reusable diapers, of course. We brought a couple of muslin cloths. I had a few in our hand luggage and a few in our checked luggage. I also have 2 bigger muslin cloths just so I can put it down and she can play on it wherever we are. I have a washing line because I brought a scrubber. This way we can wash our own clothes with our own detergent whenever we want, but we can also wash the reusable diapers. So we have our flats, pre-folds with their boosters because that's what we use at night, and then all the covers and a couple of reusable wipes and the wet bag. I have an emergency longer outfit for Michaela for if she needs it. So it's 1 pair of leggings and 1 long sleeve shirt. So far we haven't needed it. It's really warm. We have 2 sleeping bags because the rooms are fairly cold for sleeping because the air conditioning is on, but it's also really nice. We're moving towards the section of sprinkled stuff that is throughout this room, so it's going to be a bit messier from here on out. We brought this. My mum bought this for Michaela because sometimes we're on the water and she needs it. Did we use it today? Yes. Did she use it the entire time? No. Why? Because she technically should fit, and it technically does fit, but because it's so gigantic and she's so small and also squirmy and wiggly, and also she sometimes sleeps in your arms, she just felt so small and it was really hard to hold her, so we just ended up taking her out of it and just holding her because that was easier to keep her safe. I also brought this nightlight just because it's dimmable and so it's nice to use at night, and it's rechargeable, which is really nice, but it doesn't need to stay plugged in. Then we also have our own toiletry bags. Conrad's is already sprinkled out throughout the bathroom. Mine is also kinda, but I like to put some of my stuff back here. So we have nail clippers, shaving stuff, deodorant, all the works, shampoo, conditioner, toothpaste, toothbrush. I brought a toothbrush. This is not the toothbrush I brought because my shampoo exploded all over the place, which yay. So I got 1 toothbrush from the hotel that we stayed at the first night. Face wash, face lotion, and body lotion. In our hand luggage, we had a little packing cube with toys for Michaela as well. She needs entertainment, so we brought it. In our hand luggage, I also brought one packing cube bag thingy of disposable diapers because whilst we travel, I used disposable diapers. Other things in here, hand sanitizer for on the plane. There were wipes in here. We're out. Oh, no, some of the wipes are still here. We have a nursing cover, my snacks, Conrad snacks, more snacks in here as well. Another toy that needs to be washed desperately. It fell on the floor of the plane and we're at the stage where everything goes into the mouth. We have an air traveler, which we ended up well, we used it, but then we repacked it again because it wasn't really that practical. And then we have a wet bag for if we had an emergency. So in here I had the fleece outfit that she doesn't fit anymore. I had the second wool outfit, another romper and another fleece outfit that she also won't be able to fit in because it's all too small. Then in the back, it had Conrad's sleeping mask because he likes it dark. And then some important documents that we needed for the travel. And then we had the suitcase. The suitcase was the one that was way too heavy for sure. And that's because it contains all our electronics. So we had our laptops, camera, Conrad's headphones, extra battery, stuff like that. But the camera is currently balanced on the suitcase, so I won't be able to show you, but that's what we have in there. And that's it. I feel like we did quite well. It's not all that much, but it's also not that little. So anyway, that's what we packed for 4 weeks of travel in Indonesia with a 4-month-old. That'll turn 5 months old on the trip because it's so long. I hope you enjoyed knowing what we packed, and I hope to see you in next week's video because next week we start with the vlogs. I'm so excited to show you because we've done some really cool things already and we'll be doing some more really awesome things. So stay tuned for that video and I hope to see you next week. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye!